GM and Ford are facing dire challenges in the electric vehicle market. They are shutting down production lines, laying off thousands of employees, and facing the grim prospect of permanent closure. With losses exceeding $5 million and over 1,000 workers dismissed in a single week, the automotive industry may be witnessing its largest crisis in decades. The question arises, why are these automotive giants struggling to sell EVs? Could it be that EVs themselves are a scam? In this video, we'll delve into the crisis unfolding at Ford and GM, shedding light on why purchasing an EV might be a significant mistake. At present, General Motors is on the brink of shutting its doors, a shocking revelation considering that its own CEO seems to be leading the charge. But before delving into that controversy, let's examine how Ford, America's leading brand, is navigating the EV landscape. It's astonishing to learn that Ford is incurring a loss of $36,000 on each EV sold. Imagine selling a product and losing more than the price of a brand new car with every transaction. The situation has deteriorated to the point where Ford's electric vehicle division reported an operating loss of $1.3 billion in a single quarter, surpassing the previous quarter's $1.1 billion loss and doubling last year's losses. So, why is this happening? Ford attributes it to their ongoing investment in EVs and challenging market dynamics. Despite pouring resources into developing sophisticated electric vehicles, sales are not keeping pace. Moreover, many North American customers are unwilling to pay premium prices for luxury EVs over gas or hybrid vehicles, and Ford's troubles extend beyond financial losses. Their highly anticipated F-150 Lightning electric truck, touted as a game-changer, has been deemed a failure, with production halted indefinitely. CEO Jim Farley is urging stakeholders to view Ford as a startup, brushing aside the mounting losses as part of the innovation process. Turning to General Motors, the situation is even grimmer, with over 1,000 workers laid off in a single week and reports of fatalities linked to their vehicles. The company is grappling with significant EV losses, painting a bleak picture for its future. At the forefront of the situation is GM's CEO, Mary Barra, who finds herself under intense scrutiny as she navigates a series of challenges. From plummeting EV sales to complications within their self-driving car division, Cruise, the company faces an array of obstacles. In response to these issues, Barra has made a decisive stance, publicly announcing that GM will not reduce prices, deeming EVs priced under $30,000 unprofitable. This decision prioritizes luxury EVs, inadvertently neglecting the average consumer. Despite GM's ambitious plan to produce 400,000 EVs by mid-2024, the company is now retracting due to insufficient demand. In the third quarter of 2023, GM's production of EVs surged by 40%, yet sales only experienced a modest 28% increase. This disparity has led to the postponement of electric truck production, such as the Chevy Silverado EV and GMC Sierra EV, until late 2025, indicating a troubling trend. Furthermore, GM is implementing drastic measures to appease shareholders, including expense cuts, factory delays, and stock buybacks. However, the spotlight remains on the Cruise division, which has faced setbacks following a tragic incident involving a pedestrian fatality. Operations have been halted, and key executives have resigned, signaling impending layoffs. Meanwhile, GM's financial woes are exacerbated by the United Auto Workers strike, resulting in an $800 million loss. Similarly, Ford's actions compound the industry's challenges, with dealers forced to make substantial investments to sell EVs, impacting workers' livelihoods. GM's restructuring efforts involve laying off approximately 1,300 employees as production winds down, with plans to retool the Orion assembly plant for electric trucks by 2028. In light of these developments, nearly 50% of EV buyers are opting to trade their vehicles for hybrids, indicating a shift in consumer preferences away from all-electric models. This paradigm shift underscores the complex dynamics shaping the automotive industry's future. In the realm of automobiles, it's akin to the scenario where everyone experiments with the latest trendy diet only to revert to their craving for burgers and fries. In 2023, hybrids like the Toyota Prius took center stage, constituting a whopping 88.3% of car sales in the U.S., overshadowing the 6.9% share held by EVs. The rationale behind this preference for hybrids lies in their affordability and the absence of the added hassle of charging, Back in 2022, Ford dealers were swiftly offloading 86.4% of their Mach-E inventory within a span of 30 days. However, fast forward to 2023, and this figure plummeted dramatically to a mere 27.7%, despite having more than double the inventory available. Correspondingly, the sales figures for the Mach-E nosedived by a staggering 90% year-over-year, dropping from 10,141 vehicles to a dismal 633. Attempting to put a positive spin on the situation, Eric Merkel, Ford's head of U.S. sales analysis, claims that EV sales are experiencing an overall uptick. Nevertheless, he concedes that a significant number of unsold Mach-E's are languishing in dealer lots, far from being snapped up by eager buyers. The F-150 Lightning isn't faring much better. While last year Ford managed to move 70% of its Lightning inventory within 30 days, this year the figure has dwindled to a mere 35%. It's reminiscent of a scenario where everyone was initially enthusiastic about this electric truck, only to subsequently give it the cold shoulder. Ford's ambitious target is to produce 600,000 EVs this year. However, the reality of the situation is far from rosy. The scene at GM and Ford takes a surreal turn. Mary Barra, GM's CEO, finds herself under intense scrutiny as the company grapples with a myriad of challenges. From plummeting EV sales to setbacks with their self-driving car venture, Cruise, the outlook appears bleak. In a bold move, Barra declares that GM won't reduce prices, focusing solely on luxury EVs, ignoring the affordability concerns of the average consumer. Despite aiming to manufacture 400,000 EVs by mid-2024, GM finds itself forced to abandon this ambitious plan due to lackluster demand, akin to hosting a grand party only to find an empty room. Meanwhile, Ford faces its own trials. Dealers are urged to invest a staggering $1 million to become EV certified, a risky venture given the apparent lack of consumer interest. Reports suggest that Ford's production is out of sync, leaving dealers inundated with unsold inventory. Shockingly, some dealers reject Ford's allocations due to overwhelming EV stocks, a scenario akin to rejecting candy. This predicament extends beyond Ford and GM, with even industry giant Tesla resorting to price cuts and deals to clear inventory. Hybrids emerge as the preferred choice, offering affordability and convenience over their electric counterparts. In 2023, hybrids dominated car sales, overshadowing EVs by a significant margin. Ford's own Mach-E sales plummeted by 90% year-over-year, while the F-150 Lightning struggles to gain traction. Despite ambitious targets such as producing 600,000 EVs, Ford anticipates substantial losses, prompting significant cutbacks in EV investments. The ripple effect is felt across the industry, with the Biden administration pushing for aggressive emission regulations. However, the transition to EVs proves challenging, raising questions about whether car makers should prioritize political mandates over consumer preferences. As the automotive landscape grapples with uncertainty, one thing remains clear: the road to electrification is fraught with obstacles, with significant implications for the future of transportation.